What a day, what a day, what a day, what a day.
In the battle of the space barons, Branson now has billionaire bragging rights. He personally got to space first, before Elon Musk of SpaceX or Jeff Bezos of Blue Origin.
Branson's going to space.
Cool.
Musk's going to space.
Cool.
Bezos is going to space.
Cool.
Tell you ain't going to space. You ain't going to space.
Not with that attitude.
What are we being told?
The news?
What are we not being told?
That we should hate cool stuff?
And what does the return of the space cowboy mean for ordinary folk like you and me?
It means that the possibility of one day being a space cowboy exists. Welcome to the show. I'm Emmett Short. Today I want to talk about space unenthusiast Russell Brand, who put out a Debbie Downer video all about why we should not be excited about commercial space travel.
This is chimpanzee idiocy. Hey, look at what the alpha chimps are doing. They're floating in space, baby.
Russell Brand is super funny. He calls Branson a
space wanker.
Space wanker. I love it. But his arguments are trash, and I'm going to refute every single one of them, and it's not going to be hard. His best argument strategy is charisma.
Charisma is the ability to influence without using logic.
Who needs logic when you're English Jesus? It's easy to think that inflated billionaire egos are the only product of this new space race. Like it's exactly what Logan Paul would do if he had $1 billion. Even my English friends who hate Russell Brand thought I should pass on this one. One of them said,
I don't get the motivation here. Defending a against a ultimately sides you with a
I'd say the word, but YouTube's kind of I'm a fan of Russell Brand. I watch his YouTube channel and quite often love his perspectives, but he's picking on space, so I gotta get involved. I did the same thing a year ago when Bill Maher attacked Mars. Mars. It could have had life in the past, and it's very possible it's got life right now buried somewhere deep inside. It's like a planetary version of Melania Trump.
Shut up about Mars. I don't want to be a multi-planet species. Fuck Mars. It's time to make Earth great again.
Bill, your position on Mars is the opposite of inspiring. Mars enthusiasts are fans of SpaceX and Elon Musk, whose mission with Tesla is not just to sell cars, but to create a carbon-neutral transportation system and energy grid. The people you're attacking are the tree-huggiest people on the planet. You're attacking the very things that are trying to help you the most. You're attacking yourself, essentially. You know what else does that? Cancer. In that video, I spoke with Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut.
NASA says it might take $450 billion. And people, the argument can be, why not spend that here on Earth? Well, where do you think that money's being spent? Do you think that money's being thrown at Mars? Are we dropping off of pallets of $450 billion of cash and burning it on the surface of Mars?
Tim does a great job of explaining the many ways space exploration has benefited humanity. So please go watch that if you're interested. I kind of feel bad for Russell. He's built a brand that paints him into a corner. He can't get excited about a billionaire going to space. That's not Russell Brand's brand, man. His fans would turn on him. So I don't plan on getting a lot of Russell Brand fan crossover here. This is how Russell starts his video.
From Bezos' Instagram page, congratulations on the flight. Can't wait to join the club.
Oh, it's a club, all right. You ain't in it.
Can they build the clubhouse before they start sending out invites? Look, I get it. Defending space enthusiasm puts me in the unfortunate de facto position of defending billionaires. You may disagree with my perspective in this video. I welcome your comments, but just try and keep it civil. Last time I disagreed with Russell on a video, let's just say there was spirited debate. But just know, if there's certain things certain billionaires have done that trigger you, I'm not defending those things. I'm just saying that space exploration is a perfectly noble and valid use of some amount of money. Not all of the money, some allocation of money, and that it does take billions to get to space, and the people with the billions happen to be billionaires. I also think billionaires get to be billionaires by, on the whole, helping people. I don't think you can start a company that sells unhappiness and poverty and become a billionaire. So look, billionaires intrinsically are no better or worse than you or me. Yeah, you don't want me having $1 billion. I would be a nightmare. I would build water slides next to highways that only I can use. You'd be sitting in gridlock and see me slide by. Whee! But what are the reasons Russell gives for Branson being one of the bad billionaires?
Richard Branson, hardly any time ago, was lobbying for a 500 million corporate bailout for Virgin.
An airline got money during the pandemic? If airlines were comedians, they'd all be looking at Virgin going, hack. What airline didn't get a bailout? I'm waiting. It would have been irresponsible to let all your competitors get billions of dollars without at least asking, can I have €500 million, please? This doesn't speak to shady business practices or reflect poorly on Branson's character at all.
And do you remember that Virgin Care sued the NHS last year after it lost out on an £82 million contract to provide children's health services in Surrey?
I don't know enough to elucidate you on the intricacies of Branson and the NHS's relationship, but later in the video, Russell does say this.
Don't have that people that are working in healthcare make profits from it. That drug companies can't make a profit from anything in healthcare. Imagine how that would change the mentality.
So I did a quick Google search and found this. Virgin Care has never actually made a profit, and Richard Branson has vowed that if they ever do, they will not draw a dividend and instead reinvest with their frontline colleagues choosing how. So look, I don't have a fact checker, but on the face of it, it does seem that Virgin Care is a pretty philanthropic organization, and bringing this organization up just kind of makes Branson seem nice.
Also, it's worth remembering that Virgin Care paid no corporate tax in the UK.
Corporations not paying taxes is something everyone agrees is no good. But where does the blame lie here? Paying taxes when the tax code says you don't owe anything has never happened. I've never seen a gratuity section in TurboTax. I'm the first one to say corporate tax code needs to change. Here's 2 videos I did on the subject, but don't blame the tax code on Branson. He didn't write it. It was voted in by the people. This also has nothing to do with space. What if Richard Branson had invented an artificial heart and the first transplant was on himself? Russell Brand would be like, this tax-dodging asshole gets to stay alive? Because Russell Brand is Australian. So look, maybe there are other things that make Richard Branson a big baddie, but these were the things that Russell brought up, so that's why I'm talking about them. And none of them make me hate the guy. So okay, what else is Russell throwing at us to make us hate space tech?
Astronauts. With his new astronaut wings, Richard Branson was back on the ground, but over the moon. His space triumph, part bucket list, part marketing bonanza.
You're being encouraged to be an idiot. That's what I think offends me most of all. I'm offended by the invitation to idiocy. I'm offended by the way that I'm being given this information like I'm a little dumb child. And in fact, let's face it, in most educational institutions and certainly through media, these ideas are embedded so that you have to sort of grasp at and personally conjure a kind of critical ability.
As far as developing critical thinking ability, how about a little thing called foresight? The easiest thing to think is that this new space race is all about filling up billionaire egos and there's no real value here. But when we eventually find an asteroid on a collision course with Earth, is Russell going to be super happy to just let nature take its course and get destroyed? The idea that space technology is not helping anyone is a really myopic way to look at time. Russell, you like big ideas. There's no bigger idea than the fullness of time.
The emerging market of space tourism has a genuine success story.
Oh, that's nice. Thank God for space tourism. Don't worry that we've got all manner of ecological crises to deal with, inequality, poverty.
If that's your argument for space, let's apply that across the board. Everyone stop inventing shit until we solve poverty. You know, people were hungry when the computer was invented. Maybe you should have held off on that. If Russell had been alive in 1903, he would have totally shit on the Wright brothers' first flight at Kitty Hawk. There's widespread famine and massacres, and these idiots are traipsing around the sky like cloud wankers. Would not having planes have helped end poverty? Let me just show you a quick clip from my last video on this.
Mars enthusiasts are engineers, chemists, geologists. They write software. They're the people who create the things that make our world futuristic. The Apollo era space program generated More household tech than I can list here, but it includes CT scans, satellite TV, GPS temper foam, fiber optics, and LED lights. One of those is not right, but you don't know.
The pacemaker, interestingly enough, was being developed as a way to use radio frequencies in order to heat body temperature to help people with hypothermia. But they found out that it actually could trigger heartbeats, so they pivoted to the pacemaker. The point is, facing new problems oftentimes creates solutions to other problems. What else you got, Russell?
Can you see that the media are cooperating in the creation of a dangerous myth? The myth being, we need these great, powerful, real-life Tony Starks to go out to space to build us a future. We can't build a future collectively through our collective talents and our collective beauty and ingenuity. No, we're useless scumbags. All of us, including perhaps Richard Branson himself, are being invited to engage in a mad illusion when perhaps collectively together we could create actual solutions.
Getting a collective to come to a consensus? Whew, that's harder than space travel. Look how long the last relief bill took. Let's take this tax situation that Russell brought up. Your government decided collectively that Virgin's money could better serve the collective population if they just kept it. They decided that and wrote it into a little thing called the tax code. It doesn't get more collective than that. It took a long time to get that consensus, and the consensus was wrong. God damn it, we're never getting to space this way. And you know, Russell, it's kind of shitty to argue on behalf of the collective and then get all pissy when the collective makes a decision you don't agree with. By the way, unless you think Richard Branson built the spaceship with his own bare hands, he started a company, collective. People started to work at the company of their own volition because they agreed with the consensus that this was a valuable thing to work on, and that collective consensus blossomed into some cool space tech. Hey guys, join me on Discord where we can continue the conversation. I want to highlight Failtrain from Discord. He had a great point. These billionaires are paying engineers to get really good at engineering and do things that are new and difficult. And it's money in the pockets of people, which goes into local economies. And at least these billionaires are spending the money instead of leaving it to accrue interest, because $1 spent is like $5 worth of stimulation, where $1 saved is like $1.3 worth of stimulation. I'm excited about space travel, mostly SpaceX, but it seems like Virgin Galactic could kind of do what Elon was talking about, shuttling people, from LA to China in a half hour by going into space first. I get it, super expensive now. The Roadster was expensive, the S and X were expensive, but then we got the Model 3 and the Y, and now soon maybe a $25,000 car. I think that's going to be a similar trajectory with Virgin Galactic. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm excited for that to happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And what do you think about billionaires? I asked this question on Twitter. If you just got $1 billion, would that make you a better or worse person? Would that change if you earned it? What's the most self-indulgent thing you would do with it? Hit me up on Twitter, let me know. Huge thanks to the patrons supporting the channel. Go check out Mars vs. Money for that Tim Dodd interview. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
There are many troubles in the world, of course, and these are important and we need to solve them. But we also need things that make us excited to be alive, that make us glad to wake up in the morning and be fired up about the future and think, yeah, the future's gonna be great. And this space exploration is one of those things. And becoming a spacefaring civilization, being out there among the stars, this is one of the things that I know makes me glad to be alive. I think it makes many people glad to be alive. It's one of the best things. And there's really, we're faced with a choice. Which future do you want? Do you want the future where we become a spacefaring civilization and are in many worlds and are out there among the stars, or one where we are forever confined to Earth? And I say it is the first. And I hope you agree with me. Yeah.